Hi everyone, welcome back to 30 Days of Python. Today's day 9. We've reached kind of a big milestone in the Python programming. That's conditionals. So this is where our programs stop being very simple calculator, string concatenation programming and start making decisions like intelligent beings, right? So up until now, our code has executed line by line every time. But starting today, we can start writing code that says, if this is true, then do that. Otherwise, do something else. We've seen this before in previous days where we utilized for loops. For loop being that if the condition meets its criteria or condition to be true, then do this action. And in this case, we're using if statements. If something is true, do something else. Else, do another thing. This is kind of the foundation of all intelligent software. So by the end of today's video, you should be writing programs that can make decisions for itself, validate input, and respond dynamically to different situations. So what are conditionals? In simple terms, they allow your program to execute different blocks of code based on whether conditions are true or false. Let's take a look at this basic example. Take note of the code. We assign age as the variable of input to be an integer input. The next block of code reads, if age is greater or equal to 18, then print you're an adult, print you can vote, right? Another example would be the temperature. If the variable temperature of integer is 25, then if it is greater than 30, then you have to output it's a hot day. Notice the notice the colon at the end of the if statement. This is crucial. The indented code only runs if the condition is true. Think of it like a bouncer at a club. If you're 18 or over, then you can come in. Very much the same way that if this is true, then do this act. Let's handle both outcomes now. What I mean by that is, what if the condition is false? That's where else comes in. It handles the other case. Let's look at this code. If the age is assigned 16, if age is greater or equal to 18, then print out the following. Else, print out you are minor, and print out wait until you are 18. A practical example of this is checking numbers. The number variable assigned 7, if number modulo 2 equals 0, meaning the remainder is 0, then print the variable number is even. In this case, it will be 7. 7 is even. Else, 7 is odd. In this case, as we know, there will be a remainder, which means there will be more than 0. Therefore, the number will be odd. The if-else structure is like a fork in the road. Your program takes one path or the other, but never both. This is perfect for binary decisions. Yes, no, true, false situations. But what if we have more than two possibilities? That's where elif or else if comes in. Take a look at this code. We have the score variable for different grade calculators, or a grade calculator for different scores. If the score is equal to greater than 90, you grade it with an A. Else if the score is greater than 80 or equal to 80, you grade it with a B, and so on and so forth. Then you want to print out the score and the grade. Take note that the print is not sitting inside or indented into the else block or the else if block or the if block. The next example will be time of the day. The hour is 14, hence 2 p.m. So if the hour is less than 12, the time of the day is morning. If it's less than 17, it's afternoon. If it's less than 21, it's evening, else it's night. And again, take note that the print is outside the entire if statement block. It's not inside it's not indented into the else or indented into the else if or indented into the if statement. Here's the key thing about elif. Python checks each condition in order, and as soon as it finds one that's true, it executes that block and skips all the others. This makes your code efficient. Sometimes you need to make decisions based on multiple factors. That's where nested conditions come in. Putting an if statement inside another if statement. Let's look at this code. You have two variables, age and is student. One's a boolean and one's an integer variable. If the age is less than 12, then ticket price is assigned 5. Print child ticket. Else, if here's where the if statement comes in. If the age is less than 18, ticket price is 8. Print a youth ticket. Another else inside a else block with another if statement nested inside. If is student, ticket price is 10, print student ticket. Else ticket price is 15, then you print adult ticket. So then you want to print the ticket price with the ticket price variable. So as you can see, the movie ticket example is based on two variables, which is the age and the boolean is student. Another example is cleaner version. Is a cleaner version of the logical operator, right? If the age is less than 12, then print out the ticket. Then the ticket price is going to be 5. If less than 18, then 8. If the student variable is true, then 10. Else the ticket price is 15 because it's an adult. Same version, just shorter and cleaner, without all the print statements inside the if blocks. So you see how simpler the nested conditions make the else if logic operators, right? Always look for the cleanest, most readable approach. So obviously the cleaner version is what you're aiming for. Now let's add some conditions with logical operators that we learned earlier. Taking a look at this code, in this example, and for both conditions must be true. So the age variable is 25 and the boolean has license is true. So in this if statement, we're looking at both conditions to be true. If age is greater than or equal to 18 and has license, then print out you can drive a car, or else you cannot print, or print you cannot drive a car, right? If the conditions is false for the boolean, then it will print the else, and if it's less than 18, it will print the else as well. Both of these conditions must be met before the if statement print can be followed through. The next example is or. At least one condition must be true. So in this case, you have two booleans, is weekend and is holiday. One is true, one is false. If is weekend or is holiday, then print out you can sleep in. So one of them is true in this case, which is weekend, then you can print out you can sleep in. If both are false, if is weekend is false, then it will print out the else. And next is not, which reverses the condition. In this case, is raining is a boolean and is assigned false. If not is raining, then print out the following statement. Else print out better stay inside. Moving on to more complex examples, we have a variable temperature assigned 22 and two booleans, is sunny and is windy. One is true and one is false. If the temperature is greater than 20 and is sunny and not is windy, then you can print out the perfect weather for a picnic. Else maybe stay indoors. So in this case, the not would mean that the entire Boolean condition is not met, or the entire Boolean variable itself is ignored in the sense, then you can print out the perfect weather for a picnic. In other words, the not ignores and reverses the condition in this case. Python has some concise ways to write simple conditionals. Let's go through it. Let me show you the ternary operator and other shortcuts. In this example, we can look at the traditional if-else statement with the age assigned to 20. If it's greater than 18 or equal to, then print out or assign a variable with a variable of status is assigned adult. In this case, status is a string variable. Else, the status variable will change to minor. In the ternary operator, it can be a one-liner. So status assigned adult if age is greater or equal to 18, else assign it to a minor. Then you can print out the status. This reduces the code to one line, as you can see. The short circuit evaluation example is that the name assigned John with another variable display name assigned name or guest. In this case, you'll print out display name and it should equal to guest. Or if the name is not assigned John, then it should print out guest. In another example, using in for membership testing, like we did before. In this case, here's the fruit list. You can check if apple in fruits, in the list fruits, then we can print out or do a function in this statement. You can look at the comparison chaining. X assigned 5 if 0 is less than x and x is less than 10, then you can print out x is between 0 and 10. We've seen this prior to use it when learning, I think in day 2 or day 1, I believe it's day 2, that we did these arithmetic operators. So the ternary operator is perfect for simple assignments, but for complex logic, still stick with the full if-else structure for readability. So errors that we all commonly make when programming utilizing the conditionals. So let's take a look at this. The first one would be using the assign instead of the double assign operator. So x assigned 5 if x assigned 10, as you can see in the comment, it says this is an error because it's assignment. But if you specify, if above you've already assigned x being 5, in the if condition you'd use the double assignment to represent equals or comparison. The next one is forgetting the colons. Big mistake, because in some languages you don't use the colons. You either use the curly braces, and inside the curly braces you specify the function, the then function. In this case, you're using the colon to then specify the action output. So if x is greater than 5, the colon is specified, and then you can print out anything else that you need. The next one is incorrect indentations. So as you can see in the previous examples, all of the if statements have this thing where the print or the next function is indented inside the if statement or the else block or the else if block, right? If you don't do that, the Python code or the IDE will not recognize that it needs to print out the print statement. The next example is the overly complex conditions. Instead of writing this example with the if statement in the brackets specifying that the age is greater than 18 and has license and not is drunk and car available, as you see, it has multiple booleans and a variable to check. Then in the then block, it will then just pass. Consider breaking it up. So for example, can drive assigned age has to be greater than 18 and the booleans for has license and not is drunk has to be ignored or reversed in that sense. Then the if statement, if can drive and car available, you then print out yes you can drive. And there we have it. That's conditionals. You now have the power to make your programs intelligent and decision capable. This is huge in your programming journey. So yeah, it's a big step into programming anything that you want. So that is it for day 9. I hope you learned something. Please like and subscribe if you can, and I hope to see you tomorrow.